Thank you, Dan. Good evening once again. Very few Steel City derbies in recent years have been played for higher stakes than this one. Sheffield Wednesday consider their rivals from the south of the city as upstarts, but United are in the ascendancy and will be back in the top two with a win. But Steve Bruce has given the Owls belief once again, and a late playoff charge will look a possibility if they win their first derby since 2012. Red or blue, this really matters, and there is one change for Sheffield Wednesday. Ashraf Lazar, who started his loan spell very promisingly from Newcastle, was injured last week, so Dominic Iorfa comes back into the team. He scored that late equaliser at Rotherham a couple of weeks ago to get his loan spell off to a really good start, as the two managers have a handshake inside the technical area. So it's Henderson in goal, or rather Westwood in goal, Palmer, Lees, Hector and Iorfa, Reach, Hutchinson, Bannon and Aarons, Forestieri playing off Fletcher. For Sheffield United, 3 changes from the side which won very impressively by a 0-0 at West Bromwich Albion last Saturday. O'Connell and Basham return to the back 3. Craney and Johnson may be unlucky to drop out on their performances at the Hawthorns, but Chris Wilder has gone for a tried and trusted method, and Gary Medine, as we've been talking about, the big change coming in, the former Sheffield Wednesday striker, he replaces David McGoldrick. So it is Henderson in goal, Basham, Egan and O'Connell the back 3. Freeman and Stevens will be the wing backs, with Fleck, Norwood and Dowell in midfield. Dowell looking to push forward as the number 10, with Medine and Sharp in attack. The 2 benches for you for Wednesday: Dawson, the goalkeeper, who saved that penalty at Bramwell Lane back in November. Fox, Pudel, Kalupesi, Boyd, Nuiu and Matthias. For United, it's more the goalkeeper: Stearman, Coots, Duffy, McGoldrick, Craney and Hogan. And a fantastic atmosphere inside Hillsborough. The United supporters were eventually allowed to fill both tiers of the Lepping Lane stand away to our left-hand side, after originally Wednesday said that wouldn't be possible, and that really adds to the colour and adds to the noise all around this stadium. A crowd in excess of 30,000 for this game, and there is so much at stake for both teams. The red and white shirts of Sheffield United in their pre-match huddle away to the left-hand side. Sheffield Wednesday in their blue and white shirts. Steve Bruce just makes his way towards the edge of the technical area. And people forget, he's a promotion specialist at this level.
Well, he is. If you want anybody to get you out of the Championship into the Premier League, then Steve Bruce has done it on numerous occasions. The cracking atmosphere, as you mentioned there, Nigel. It's going to be noise coming from all over this ground. It's going to be interesting to see who starts the brightest on the front foot. But let's hope the referee Peter Banks has a good night and doesn't have too much to do in terms of too many yellow cards or even the odd red.
Well, Peter Banks was in charge of Steve Bruce's final match at Aston Villa as the 131st Steel City Derby is underway, live and exclusive to national radio on TalkSport 2, and it's United in the red and white shirts attacking the Kop end away to our right hand side in the first half, and the first move comes to nothing, and Kieran Westwood making his 150th league appearance for Sheffield Wednesday this evening will take a goal kick, and he's one of a number of experienced players Steve Bruce has chosen to bring back into the side since arriving at Hillsborough, both sides with only 1 defeat in their last 12 games. As Westwood clears long downfield again, and it's allowed to bounce by Norwood almost into the path of Forestieri. Reach will chase, but on the far side, the left, Ender Stevens will clear long downfield. Stevens back in a more familiar position after filling in as a central defender during the absences for Basham and O'Connell. And it's a throw-in for Wednesday on the far side, which is taken by Palmer, and Tom Lees will go all the way back towards Westwood again. And there are very few empty seats in the more populated areas of Hillsborough. There's the no man's land between the 2 sets of supporters in the corner on the far side, but apart from that, every seat is filled as gentle drizzle starts to come down once again here at Hillsborough. It was a wet and blustery day as Storm Freya worked its way through the area, but conditions very good at kick-off time. Was a long diagonal ball forward from Hector for Wednesday, wide to the far side, is overhit and out of play for a throw-in.
It's going to be quite interesting, the two contrasting systems. You've got Dowell, who plays the number 10 behind Sharp and Medine, does Barry Bannon, I would think, being around him, but then you've got Forestieri, he'll be looking to drift around off Fletcher, which will work in both ways. He'll have to be around Oliver Norwood, because if they let Norwood have possession of the ball, he'll be able to find the passes into Dowell, into the two wing backs who will certainly look to join in, aerial threat of Medine. So there's plenty of tactical battles out on that pitch tonight.
2 minutes played at Hillsborough on Talk Sport 2. It is Wednesday 0, United 0, and play has yet to restart following that throw-in, and the assistant referee on the far side just came onto the field and picked something up and put it in his back pocket. I hope there was nothing sinister there, as the ball is thrown down the line looking for Medine, and then it's played long downfield. Sharp will chase, and Sharp very quickly going on to Michael Hector, and maybe United fancy the challenge against a central defender who can have some very good moments but also a couple of dicey ones as well. Yeah,
talented player, very good on the ball, as you said, he's prone to the occasional mistake, so one thing's for sure, tonight he's going to be tested against Medine and Sharp.
And Billy Sharp yet to score in 5 Sheffield derbies, and he's never been on the winning side either. And of course, the previous 2 games were drawn 0-0, including the match at Bramwell Lane back in November on a Friday night when McGoldrick saw an early penalty saved by Dawson, and that was basically that, as Josh Lukai set his team out to try and frustrate, and they did it very effectively. As Basham heads the ball forward for United, it's gathered by Norwood, who quickly plays it wide to this near side, and Freeman, who is ahead of George Baldock in the Sheffield United side this evening. Now into the feet of Sharp, and Freeman again goes back towards Basham. The early ball forward, and Dowell will try and make the run beyond Bannon towards the corner flag on this near side. He's quickly challenged by Palmer, and eventually it spins out of play off the Everton loanee for a throw into Wednesday.
Yeah, both teams have not really got a foothold in the game at this moment in time. Quite interesting that Palmer's playing left back and Iorfa playing at right back, both predominantly right-footed. You're looking at Sheffield Wednesday's 2 wide players. A Reach on the right hand side will come inside on his left. Aaron's right footed, will do the reverse on this side, coming on to his right. So plenty of tactical battles going out there.
And now Billy Sharp will chase a ball forward down the right hand side for United, just nudges the ball off Palmer, and it spins behind at the Kop end for the first corner to Sheffield United.
Well, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? You've got the 3 big centre half for Sheffield United, Medine in there, Billy Sharp, Dowell's 6 foot as well. If it's going to be Fleck who's going to have an in-swinging corner, and he's got a great left foot, so he's going to have the good delivery and make sure people are attacking the ball, and that's questions of Sheffield Wednesday's back 4.
And the wind just starting to swirl around Hillsborough again. Fleck with a corner, an in-swinger high to the far post. Westwood came and then retreated, but nobody got a touch, and Hector on the far side, pressurised by Medine, will clear the ball away. It flicked off Medine and out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield Wednesday, who start this game 14th in the table following the weekend's games, but they will move up to 11th if they can pick up 3 points here, 4 points away from the playoff zone, and also above Steve Bruce's former side Aston Villa. And Sheffield United currently 3rd in the table on 64 points, Leeds on 67 and Norwich on 69 above them, but United have a better goal difference than Wednesday, so if they win this game they will be back above Leeds into the top 2 positions.
This is going to be so interesting from now to the end of the season. You're going to have other teams supporting certain teams on a particular night that you never thought they would be willing on a result to happen, but that's just what happens at this stage of the season. There's so much to play for the playoff positions, the top 2 positions, and that's why tonight is going to be a key opportunity for both teams to try and close the gap on the relevant positions they're trying to close in on. 6
minutes played on Talk Sport 2, 0-0, as Westwood with a long ball forward for Wednesday, flicked on by Fletcher, almost breaks to Forestieri inside the penalty area, but neither he or Aarons can regather, and now it's a long ball played forward by Norwood, looking for Medine, over his head and nodded clear by Lees, and it will be a throw into United on this near side there right, and Kieran Freeman will sprint forward to take it as United look to try and keep Wednesday penned in here. Short to Norwood, back towards Freeman again, and now Norwood with a crossing opportunity, high to the far post, Medin's header, and it's blocked at the far post. It was a brilliant challenge. Iorfa and Westwood were involved, and Gary Medin so close to a goal on his return to Hillsborough.
Fantastic save from Kieran Westwood, great play from between Freeman and Norwood, who's got a great right foot, puts a wicked ball into the 18-yard box, 6-yard box, and basically Gary Medin has he's moved, pulled off the far post, got a free header. As he headed it straight, Kieran Westwood, we've not got opportunity to see the replays, but what he's done is he's hit the target, and Kieran Westwood has made a real top save.
Now Reach on the far side, looking to evade the challenge of Stevens, and as Stevens went to ground, Peter Banks has given a free kick for Sheffield United. And the crowd in the stand on the far side, all Wednesday fans, didn't appreciate that. Now a long diagonal ball played forward by O'Connell. Medin looks to rise and flick the ball on. Dowell made the run to his left, but Lee's anticipated well and turns and hacks the ball clear, but it's a throw-in to United, and these are ominous early moments here for Wednesday.
Yeah, Sheffield United started the better game. You can see the diagonal ball, the longish ball up to Medin, and you got Dowell and Sharp sniffing around for second balls. So Sheffield United has started the better of out the two teams so far.
8 minutes played. Wednesday 0, United 0 in the Sheffield derby on TalkSport 2. Fleck tries to link up with Stevens on the far side, but it's quickly cleared away by Hutchinson. The ball doesn't stick with Fletcher, and now United will try and build again. They look for the challenge on Fleck to be awarded as a free kick, but as a subsequent challenge snaps in from Hutchinson, Peter Banks is happy for play to continue, and the ball eventually ricochets away off a United player for a throw-in.
Do you think, Nigel, if we go back to the Medina opportunity, do you think if he's headed it down that he's probably going to, that Westwood doesn't even get near it, because it was a certain height, it was in range for him to, or even actually his body, that allowed him to make the save, didn't it? I think if he'd headed it down, I don't think he'd have got anything on it.
Or back across.
Yeah.
Because Westwood was coming across at such speed, it was a great chance, or maybe Medin didn't realise he had so much time.
Yeah, I'm not sure too many strikers would have actually decided to head it down to somebody else when you've got a free opportunity, but I think if he'd headed it down, I think he would. I don't think West would have got near it.
Well, Gary Medin's 24-match wait for a goal came to an end recently with a couple against Reading in a 4-0 win at Bramall Lane, and they've responded well to that late collapse at Villa Park we brought you on TalkSport 2 a few weeks ago, when Medin and Sharp played very well. They were 3-0 up when Medin was taken off, and they drew 3-3.
Yeah, I saw Chris Wilder the next day at Middlesbrough Leeds game, and he did look a real broken man, for a better phrase. I did say to him, why are you at a football match today? I think you should be in the pub just getting over last night.
But 3 wins and 3 clean sheets since then.
Yeah, great character to show from your team. That disappointment, you can go the other way and then feel sorry for yourselves and suffer the consequences, but certainly responded really well, and that'd be a big key factor for Chris, that his players have been able to do that.
Dowell hooks the ball in from the left-hand side, and it was onto the roof of the netting, and Dowell appealed for the corner. Peter Banks had a long think about it and then agreed, and Steve Bruce, out on the edge of his technical area, not too impressed.
Yeah, he just looked a hopeful ball into the box, and I think it must have been Barry Bannon must have got something on it to deflect out for a corner. So again, we've got the back three pushing up, and Sharp and Dowell and Medin, and Norwood taking it.
Norwood's in swinger high into the penalty area once again. It was Fletcher rising to head the ball away, but the referee saw some pushing and has given the free kick, and with 10 minutes played on TalkSport 2, it remains goalless in the 131st Steel City derby.
I think we saw from the previous corner there that Billy Sharp was in around Kieran Westwood and didn't allow him to come out for it, and got the block on the first corner. The second one, he's done exactly the same, and whether it was when you got a contentious decision go against your way, sometimes you always find that a decision seems to go your way if you're the team that's been going against.
You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United on TalkSport 2 with the McDonald's Fun Football providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Iorfa plays it forward on the right-hand side for Wednesday, looking for reach, but it's cleared away, and Iorfa challenges Stevens as he does so, and it's a throw-in for United on the far side. And Bannon at the moment is going everywhere Dowell goes, but that will surely curb his creativity. And you look at the stats, everything creative, he leads the categories for Wednesday.
Yeah, well, that's what I mentioned earlier. Who's going to pick up Dowell? It's got to be one of the midfield players, but it's going to be take away that instinct of Barry Bannon that can help Sheffield Wednesday on the attacking front.
Now Forestieri loses out in a challenge to Norwood, who then slides into win it back from Hutchinson, but Hutchinson recovers, and a scrambling Forestieri is then fouled by Fleck, and it will be a free kick for Wednesday, and the home crowd becoming involved in this game now, as Bannon plays it wide to the far side, and Iorfa. Now Reach finding Forestieri again, who can be a mercurial talent for Sheffield Wednesday, but his form has been blighted by injuries in the last couple of years. It seemed on a number of occasions he was on his way out of Hillsborough, but maybe Steve Bruce can coax the best out of him once again. Leeds with a long ball forward, wide to the far side. Reach will try and chase and get there before O'Connelly does. Hooks it back into the penalty area. Fletcher was shaping for the header, but Basham got the touch, and Basham nods it behind for a corner to Wednesday.
Yeah, great desire from Adam Reach there. It looked like he was running out for a goal kick. Managed to keep it in with his right foot, and Stephen Fletcher got the header on. Fortunately, from Sheffield United's perspective, I think it might have been O'Connell, and now it's gone out for a Sheffield Wednesday corner, the first of the match for them.
13 minutes play. Bannon will take it in front of the no man's land on the far side, which is heavily populated by police and stewards. Bannon's in swinger, high to the far post. Iorfa was challenging, but United will clear, and the second clearance from Norwood finds Sharp, who hooks the ball on, but Sharp was the furthest player forward, so Palmer has time to assess his options and deliver a long ball forward. It's nodded down into the penalty area by Iorfa, but Fletcher's unable to read it, and United will clear. Here is Dowell on the far side, who shrugs off Aarons. An excellent ball in field. Medine now lays it off towards Fleck, who quickly sweeps it wide to this near side, the right. Freeman now has Basham steaming forward on the overlap, but Freeman may use him as the decoy. Back towards Norwood. Another high hanging cross, which is nodded over the top by Lees behind for a United corner.
Real good counter-attack from Sheffield United. Great play by O'Dowell, set it back into Fleck, who transferred the ball very quickly out to his right-hand side, and before you know it, Basham's bursting from centre-back with Freeman, who then played it back to Oliver Norwood, who put more or less a replica ball into the box that he did for Medine's chance early in the 5-10 minutes ago, and Sheffield Wednesday, to be fair, headed it away and defended it really well.
And the rain gets ever heavier. Norwood with the corner, an in-swinger high to the far post. A body goes tumbling. It was Medine who tangled with Hector some way off the ball. Iorfa then comes in to nod the ball behind, and Peter Banks telling the United players it was a coming together, but a corner's been given on this near side now.
You've got the Sheffield United bench just onto the fourth official asking if it's seen anything untoward. You've got Steve Agnew for Sheffield Wednesday saying there's nothing going wrong, so we've got two sides of two things going off the pitch as well.
Could be a busy night for Jeremy Simpson. Flex corner, high to the far post and gathered comfortably by Westwood. And there's not too much room down there around the technical areas. I mean, Chris Wilder and Steve Bruce have spoken in very respectful terms about each other before this game, but we've seen it on a couple of occasions here. If things get heated, it gets heated very quickly.
Yeah, it can do, yeah. Very close together. Passionate managers. A lot at stake, especially in this game tonight, but there's nothing wrong with a bit of passion from the managers. That's what supporters want to see. And again, especially in a match like this.
Hutchinson plays it wide to the far side, and Iorfa. He was looking for reach, but the ball was inside him. And the ball skids through eventually to Dean Henderson, who had an excellent game for Sheffield United at the Hawthorns last week, including a match-winning save in the closing seconds, and I think he believed he owed United
especially the last
a couple
time
of points
after
what happened. Absolutely, yeah, after what happened late on at Villa Park. But he's a young goalkeeper on loan from Manchester United. I understand he rates himself fairly highly, but saves like that maybe will convince other people.
Yeah, he's very confident.
Now Reach on the far side, the right, plays it in field for Bannon for Sheffield Wednesday. 16 minutes played, 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Reach looking to come forward now beyond Stevens. A low cross in towards the near post is cut out by Egan. And United, with their patient passing, will try and clear again. Dowell, though, loses out in the challenge to Hutchinson. Aarons now plays it short towards Bannon. Bannon square to Forestieri, 25 yards out. Palmer providing the width down the left-hand side. And as a right-footed player, he always has to check back in field. And Forestieri has been caught by Norwood. And it's a free kick for Wednesday, midway inside the United half, down this near side there left.
Yeah, I think when you play three at the back and with wing backs, you can sometimes get overloaded in the wide areas against you, the Reach and Aarons and the two full-backs. But I don't think it bothers Sheffield United too much, because when you look at Palmer and Iorfa, not really the most attacking of full-backs, especially Palmer playing on this left-hand side, right-footed. He'll always naturally come back onto his right foot, so I don't think it's too much of a problem.
Bannon's free kick whipped into the penalty area, doesn't beat the first man, who is Basham, and Dowell will just hook the ball clear. We've seen two successive goalless draws in Sheffield derbies, and neither sides are conceding too much at the moment. Wednesday with 4 clean sheets in 6 under Steve Bruce, and United looking for 4 successive victories with a clean sheet at this level for the first time since 1969. Now Freeman forward towards Dowell, who's given the room to turn, but he turns into Iorfa, who's a big unit. Now Bannon quickly plays it forward to Forestieri, just occupying the space behind Fletcher, but Forestieri and Bannon get themselves in a tangle, and United will bring the ball forward on this near side with their captain Billy Sharp, who rides the challenge of Forestieri, but then is hacked down by Bannon right in front of the technical areas. And Jeremy Simpson again just has to step in to cool tempers as Steve Bruce has a quick word, and it's a free kick for United on this near side there right.
Yeah, you're looking at the way Billy Sharp's running with the ball there. You could see Forestieri and Bannon, they're all just waiting for that moment just to make that tackle, and I think it was Bannon who made the mistimed one, allows Norwood now on this right hand side to put another dangerous ball into that 18-yard box of Sheffield Wednesday.
Norwood's delivery, aimed for Medine, but nodded clear by Hector, and then an important sliding challenge from Fletcher to just ensure Stevens couldn't bring it forward down the left. Now Fleck will try and do that, but he showed an awful lot of that to Iorfa, who came in with a solid challenge. Fleck went flying, it was a fair challenge, and it's a throw-in on this near side. Yeah,
it was a heavy touch from Fleck, wasn't it? And then it's just one of them where it's like a 50-50 challenge for both. To be fair, both of them went in clearly, and Fleck would it against the Iorfa, and then it ricocheted back into its Fleck for a Sheffield Wednesday throw-in. But you're just looking out now, it's pouring down with rain. You're looking at Steve Bruce, what, four weeks ago was in the sunshine of the West Indies, but that's what football does to you. It's a drug, and the passion, desire to get back into work, where he could quite easily be just sat looking at the 2020s that are starting over the next few days.
Yeah, the 2020 cricket, exclusive to TalkSport 2 tomorrow from 6 o'clock. There'll be another 2020 international on Friday evening. Coverage as well, of course, on TalkSport 2, and then the concluding match on Sunday evening. And tomorrow, across the TalkSport network, 2 big games. Dortmund against Spurs will be the commentary on TalkSport. Then on Wednesday, it is Paris Saint-Germain against Manchester United on TalkSport. Here on 2, it is Porto against Roma from the Champions League, as Basham heads away inside the penalty area. A long ball boomed forward by Norwood in the general direction of Medine, but some way beyond him, and it's gathered by Westwood. Both sides in danger of cancelling each other out the way the game is shaping up at the moment.
Yeah, there's not been too many opportunities where we've mentioned the Medine header. Lots of endeavour between both teams in the middle of the pitch. When it's breaking on in either box, both teams defending well, clearing the lines, and it's probably needs a Bannon or a Forestieri for Sheffield Wednesday or Norwood to just get the foot on the ball a little bit and get a few passes in.
Aarons delivers a cross in from the left-hand side, and Reach was coming in, which is why it's chested behind at the far post, and it will be Another corner for Sheffield Wednesday, and O'Connell knew that Reach was somewhere around him and couldn't take any chances.
No, he couldn't do. He had to make sure that he did the right thing and put it out for the corner. So when you put the ball in from there, ask questions for any defender. They've got to make sure that they deal with it, especially on a night like tonight where it's raining and it's a little bit of a slippery surface.
At the Leppings Lane end, Bannon with the corner, high towards that far post again. It's flicked across the face of goal by Fletcher, but nobody was coming in, and with the outside of his right foot, Norwood plays it high up towards the halfway line and out of play for a throw. And Fletcher there was turning to his teammates and says, where was the second wave? Yeah, there's
another good couple of balls from Barry Bannon with them in swinging corners there. He's sort of putting it to an area where Henderson's a little bit reluctant to come out and try and catch it. Fletcher with his height is obviously a big advantage, and when he wins the first one, you're looking for your other teammates to win that second ball to give yourself that opportunity to put it in the back of the net.
Sheffield United with 8 away wins so far this season. When they got those back-to-back home defeats to Leeds and West Brom in December, it did seem that once again their promotion challenge was beginning to wither away, but since then 8 wins, 3 draws, and just that single defeat at Swansea, and they're in their best spell of form in the season. 4 wins and 2 draws. And with so many big games coming up, maybe they're timing their charge just at the right time. They've got Leeds a week on Saturday, live on TalkSport 2, and then they also go to Bristol City before the end of March, and they're live on TalkSport 2 this Saturday lunchtime, another South Yorkshire derby at home to Rotherham. Bannon with a free kick for Wednesday, high into the penalty area, nodded clear as far as Hector, and now Reach, where we've seen him score so many spectacular goals with the left foot this season, but this time he didn't catch it right at all on the edge of the penalty area, and it dribbles behind for a goal kick.
I think both teams have got to be careful that they don't give needless free kicks away, because Norwood for Sheffield United can put great balls in. Barry Bannon, as we've seen in the last 5 minutes, put a corner and the free kick in there. Both teams have got big physical strong strikers and centre backs, so it seems a bit needless sometimes just to make a wrong decision that could put your team under pressure.
23 minutes played, 0-0, and TalkSport 2 supports the work of Prostate Cancer UK. Remember, in the time it takes to play a game of football, 2 men in the UK will die of prostate cancer. To find out more and how you can help, visit prostatecanceruk.org/football. Throw in for United on this near side, right in front of Steve Bruce in the Wednesday technical area. Kieran Freeman will take it, a player who had a spell out at the side before regaining his place a couple of weeks ago, and it's long down the line. Palmer was holding Medin's shirt right in front of the assistant, but he's not interested. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, Gary Medin just complaining about it. He should have had a free kick there, which when it went against him, Sheffield Wednesday fans were very quick to acknowledge their dismay at him for trying to get that free kick when he certainly didn't look like he was going to get one.
Steve Bruce, as Simon was saying a few moments ago, chose to take some time off after being given the job to replace Josh Lukai when he was sacked just before Christmas. Wednesday were 18th. They had a terrible run of 1 win, 2 draws and 7 defeats to drop from the playoff places to only 6 points above the relegation zone. But if they win tonight, they'll be 4 points away from the playoffs once again. And Bruce with 4 wins and 3 draws so far, as United look to come forward with Basham, always such a good runner with the ball at his feet. Wide to this near side, the right, and Freeman. Basham continues his run, but it's further forward towards Dowell, and Bannon again is there and seemed to maybe run the ball out of play behind, but the assistant was right there, doesn't give the free kick. Freeman now is charged in the back by Palmer, but again the referee is happy to continue, and it's about Seb Hutchinson bringing the ball forward, wide towards the far side. Reach will make the run, but it's back towards Iorfa. Fletcher for a second was unmarked inside the penalty area, and now the cross is delivered and it's taken cleanly by Henderson.
Yeah, it was a quick counter-attack there from Sheffield Wednesday, but it got slowed down by the ball into Sean Hutchinson. He didn't quite play it in front of him, which would have really allowed him to break a lot quicker than they did, and it allowed Sheffield United to get bodies back. And once the ball came in from the right hand side, Henderson was quite easy to come out and claim it.
And Sam Hutchinson, another player at the more experienced end of his career, who has been restored to the side by Steve Bruce. There's been very little transfer activity at Hillsborough over the past couple of years. Dolphon Chansiri, the owner, has put the club up for sale. There was, of course, that transfer embargo as well. Bruce has made some decent signings in the loan window to try and bolster the squad, but it does look like a squad overall which maybe needs refreshing. It's a big squad. There were some good players, but they've been around for a bit and not really done it.
Yeah, sometimes you have to change the outlook, the mentality of a group when it's been together for so long and not achieved. But when you look at this squad now, the players that are starting tonight, and then you're looking at the likes of Pellier-Pessing, Nanui, Matthias and George Boyd, Pudel, these are players that have played at a real high level and they should have been doing better early in the season, and we've done the odd game here where you've seen some of the younger players that have come into the team, Thornley and others, they've actually done very well. So I think it's just the whole group has not flourished like it should have done.
Stephen Fletcher is down on the far side. It was a heavy challenge, a couple of yards in from touch, and Wednesday's number 9 looks to be in some trouble here.
It was nothing really, wasn't it? It was sort of a tangle of bodies and he's gone down. So I always think that the stretcher bearers are very quick to come out to be ready and able to carry somebody off, but hopefully they're going to be get dispatched back to their normal seats, and Stephen Fletcher can get up and be okay.
I feel sorry for Jeremy Simpson, the fourth official. He's getting it in the ear from both sides, and now he's having to clarify something with a member of Chris Wilder's backroom team. Steve Bruce has also been an ever-present word in his ear as well.
You know, so that is probably the worst role to have on a match day from if you're involved, the fourth official, because he bears the brunt of all the frustration of all the coaching staff on both sides in every game. And ultimately, he can't do anything about it.
Yeah, Gary Madine's now saying, look, my shirt has been pulled and your mate over there didn't give it.
But he can't even make a decision, can the fourth official? He's got no impact. It's not as if he can go to his a TV and overturn a decision, which potentially down the line that VAR might will help him out.
Not his job, is it? No.
But he's right in the middle of both benches, right up and down the country, and they must go home after a game and thinking, well, I'm glad that this game's over and I can go home and get an ear bashing from the missus now.
Get back out in the middle next week. Well, the rain is absolutely sheeting down here now at Hillsborough. And to back up the point we were making a few moments ago, Guy Clark, our producer, has pointed out that 5 members of the Wednesday starting lineup tonight played against Steve Bruce's Hull in the playoff final back in 2016 when they lost. And of course, Hull returned to the Premier League, and the Championship is such a short-term business at the moment, isn't it? Unfortunately, as you know as well.
Yeah, it's relentless. Everybody's looking for the golden ticket of getting up to the Premier League, where the big stakes are, the big teams. I think this year with the Championship, there's no one that is running away with it compared to previous season. Wolves last year and Burnley and Newcastle over the last 2 or 3 that you're going, right, yeah, they're pretty much earmarked to get one of the automatic positions. That's why it's been so interesting this year. So many sort of teams within close proximity, and it's still up for grabs for so many teams.
But if United win here tonight, they will be 7 points clear of West Brom in 4th, and this week at least it would look a 3-horse race.
Yeah, that's what a result like tonight can do, and that would certainly, if it's the reverse of a Sheffield Wednesday result, then Leeds United and Norwich City will be certainly more pleased than Sheffield United.
Half an hour played at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2, and it remains goalless here as Egan plays it square towards Norwood in that quarterback role for Chris Wilder's team, and he lofts a ball high to the far side where O'Connell will try and move forward, but at the moment Wednesday are doing a very good job of just blocking off all the avenues on either side, so Freeman has to try and wrestle his way beyond Aarons, and Aarons has fouled him, and it will be a free kick a few yards away from touch on this near side, and the ball was rolling as they took it, so they'll try again, and Freeman now goes back towards Egan. We've only seen one save from either goalkeeper so far, that block from Kieran Westwood to deny Gary Medine a goal against his former club, as Freeman goes back towards Egan again. And often we see Sheffield United try and get the ball forward from back to front very quickly, but they can't do it here.
No, they can't. We mentioned before that Steve Bruce will have his team well organised, well drilled, with Steve Agnew and I think Stephen Clements on his books, who've taken over while Steve was still in the West Indies, and they certainly know what they're doing. They're well drilled. Everybody knows when to press, when not to press. And on the other side of that, Sheffield United do exactly what they do week in and week out. They know which their roles and responsibilities of each member of the team are.
Now Sharp chasing a long ball forward, but Hector did well just to lever him off the ball, but United win it back quickly. Freeman on this near side, the right. Now Norwood. Freeman does well to keep the ball in play, but Aarons comes in with a decent challenge. Hector's clearance then rebounds off Norwood high into the penalty area. Basham rises above Palmer to find Norwood, who goes to ground very easily as Hector makes the challenge, and players from both sides believe they were fouled on the byline away to our right, but in the end the assistant, who was well placed, has given a free kick to Wednesday.
Yeah, Kieran Freeman looking to get down the right hand side, felt he could have had a free kick, then it comes back out to I think it was Norwood, who then met a free kick on Hector. And as you mentioned earlier, there's been a lot of endeavour between both teams, not been loads of crunching tackles, but there's not been a real end product from both teams. There's been no, apart from the Westwood save where Medine maybe should have headed it down. We don't think Dean Henderson has had to do too much apart from collect the odd cross that's been going into the box. So it's not really kicked off yet, has it? In terms, I'm not saying from a physical point of view, I'm just thinking from an action point of view.
The game doesn't really have a pattern. There looked to be, maybe after 10 minutes, the danger for Wednesday that United could take control, but Wednesday have responded well.
Yeah, they've got back into it, got a bit more of a foothold into it, and Sheffield Wednesday just not moving the ball. Sheffield United not moving the ball as quickly as they did in that opening minutes of the game.
Well, it's a very, very slick playing surface here now as the rain continues to tumble down in the north of Sheffield. On the far side, Onomar goes back towards Lees, and Hector will find Palmer. So all four members of the Wednesday back four involved there as they look to try and build, but having praised the durability of the Wednesday system, United are also very adept at getting bodies behind the ball. But Basham now took a ride on Aarons on this near side, and it will be another free kick for Sheffield Wednesday.
There we go, the fourth official getting ear bashing again from both sides. Again, ball up to Aarons, who's only a small little winger. Something Basham didn't really need to do. Gives Bannon the opportunity to put this into the box from a deep area. He's going to look for the big diagonal of Iorfa and Fletcher, and then hopefully looking for the second balls off the back of that.
Bannon looking for Fletcher inside the penalty area, flicked on by Hector and volley cleared by Basham. Now Dowell, he's fouled by Aarons, and it will be a free kick for United with 11 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2, and it remains goalless in the Steel City derby. Don't forget, on Thursday we are back in the Europa League on TalkSport 2 with full commentary of the first leg round of 16 tie between Rennes and Arsenal. Then on Saturday, a bumper day of Premier League action across the TalkSport network. Palace against Brighton will be live on TalkSport. Manchester City against Watford will be at 5:30 on TalkSport. Between those, there is Leicester against Fulham. Brendan Rodgers with his home debut as Leicester City manager. As a high ball into the penalty area, looking for Medine for United, is gathered by Westwood. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, Sheffield United against Rotherham will be on 2 at 12:15 on Saturday, and then on Sunday on 2, a high noon start for the second City derby between Birmingham and Aston Villa. And I'll be at Anfield on TalkSport for another big game in the race for the title, Liverpool against Burnley. Freeman with a long ball forward for United on this near side. Sharp will get there before Lees and tries to jab the ball in field to pick up Medine, but again Barry Bannon was back there doing his defensive work. Aarons will try and bring the ball forward now with short sleeves and gloves for Sheffield Wednesday, but it's Norwood who brings it clear for United. Freeman was possibly fouled there by Forestieri. He certainly believes he was, but Peter Banks has not blown his whistle on too many occasions so far.
Yeah, he's made tried to let the play develop and not met free kicks too obvious if he doesn't have to do. The ones that he's had to give are the ones that are actually free kicks. So you've seen both teams defending well. Sheffield United's back three, Sheffield Wednesday's back four. A lot of endeavour from both teams, but not a great deal of quality at this moment in time.
Well, United are the form team in the top six with 23 points from their last 10 games as Basham brings it forward, finds Dowell down the right, but Palmer with a decent challenge. Well, it looked to be, but Peter Banks belatedly has given the free kick to the utter disgust of Steve Bruce. He got the ball.
Yeah, we were just praising him there, weren't we? I followed the ball after that, to be fair. Saw it got moved back from Freeman into Norwood, thinking how they're going to develop it, and then to my amazement he's given a free kick against Palmer, and this is in a real strong position for Sheffield United, just outside the 18-yard box. Norwood's right foot is going to whip it in away from with an outswinger. As we mentioned many times before, the big lad's going into the box, but yeah, a bit of a surprise decision.
The rain now is absolutely sweeping down, and it's into the faces of the Sheffield Wednesday players defending the Kop end away to our right. A huge Sheffield Wednesday St George's flag is also billowing in the wind on the far side. A free kick played by Norwood into the penalty area, nodded away at Reach at the near post for a corner. Yeah,
good defending Adam Reach. Norwood trying to whip it into there, Basham trying to get across the near zone area. Adam Reach 6 foot plus, looking to defend that near post and does it really well, but as it resulted in now, Fleck will come across, try and whip it in. Be interesting to see if Billy Sharp's going to be stood on Westwood's feet and try and block him from trying to come and catch his delivery.
Well, Sharp is the only United player inside the 6-yard area, and Palmer is trying to block his run, to block the goalkeeper's run. Fleck with the corner, a flatter delivery, Reach with the clearance, and it's missed by Aarons, but it almost runs into the path of Hutchinson, but Basham is a very good athlete to get back and find Stevens. His long ball forward, looks to find Norwood on the far side. In fact, it was Medine, but Iorfa leapt well, heads the ball clear, and it will be a throw-in to Sheffield United with 6.5 minutes to play in what has been a very attritional first half here at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2. 0-0. Now Dowell on the far side looks to play the ball inside the fullback to pick out the run of Fleck, but Wednesday will clear. Then Fletcher wants a free kick on the halfway line, doesn't get it, and Egan plays it wide to the far side. O'Connell with a long ball down the centre, looking for Dowell, who tries to chest the ball down, but the ball was coming straight at him, so as a result it rebounds off his hip, and Hutchinson will bring the ball forward for Sheffield Wednesday, wide towards Dominic Iorfa on the far side. But whenever Wednesday have the ball, they always have to go long, because United have the midfield area bottled up. Lees does go long, looking for the run of Reach on the far side, but it's nodded away by O'Connell, and it will be a throw into Wednesday.
I think both teams are working extremely hard in the midfield areas to make sure that the opposition don't have that time and space to pick out the forward runs of the wide players or the ball into Fletcher or into Medine, which then would allow Forestieri and Dowell and Sharp to get the second ball. So I think both teams are working extremely hard to stop the source, which has probably resulted in so far not too many opportunities for either team.
You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday versus Sheffield United on TalkSport 2, with McDonald's Fun Football providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Reach on the far side, can't control a long ball, and he points back to his teammates and says, look, I need the ball further up the field to give me a chance to run onto it. Yeah, that was a strange decision from Hector there, because I think Adam Reach had taken the wing back right into his position, and he could have gone across the back four into Iorfa, who could have drove him, but he decided to a big crossfield diagonal pass, which then went straight out of play. So he's got to make sure you make a better decision when you get that opportunity. Bannon now has the room to scamper forward for Wednesday. Plays it wide to this near side, and Palmer. Aarons providing the width down the left. Aarons choosing though to come in field, and it's Bannon once again. Palmer, a right-footed player, playing at left full-back, will try and look to deliver the cross, but Aarons will do eventually. Cleared as far as Bannon. Forestieri now has been quiet for long spells in the game, looks to turn, then he gets it back from Basham, who makes a mistake on the edge of the penalty area. Aarons back towards Bannon, the high cross in, Fletcher will challenge though, not a clear by O'Connell, and Stevens does well to avoid the corner by hoofing it long downfield on the far side. Dowell then challenges Hutchinson. Both players look to have a problem, and with a head injury on either side, Peter Banks has stopped play and waved on the medical teams.
At first it looked like Hutchinson could have been out cold there, but just looking at him now, he looks like he's okay, he's moving around. It was one of them situations where Dowell had to go for the ball, but he was never, that split second he was a little bit late and headed the back of Sam Hutchinson, so it looks like both of them are going to be a little bit sore, but fortunately both of them look like they're both going to be alright.
The Hutchinson very quickly showed signs of movement. A player, of course, who retired as a youngster at Chelsea and then rebuilt his career. A long time at Nottingham Forest on loan before moving to Wednesday, but he's been out of this side for 4 months with a groin problem, but he's the sort of player that Steve Bruce has been looking to since arriving at Hillsborough.
I think he was a key player when Sheffield Wednesday got to the playoff final. He was that midfield cog that would just hold things together, the love of tackle, the tenacity that would allow the other players to go out and express themselves, knowing that he was in the region to protect the back four.
Well, a free kick was given, it's flicked on by Hector into the 6-yard area, volley clear, and now Aarons with a shot, sliding in to make the block with his back was Fleck. And Medine on this near side tries to step over to evade Aarons, couldn't do so, then put Basham under pressure, and Basham can just whack the ball away on this near side, out of play as Aarons look to head towards the byline, and it's a throw into Wednesday. And we have 2 minutes to play in the first half on TalkSport 2. 0-0 in the Steel City derby in driving rain at Hillsborough. Palmer will take the throw in down the line. Forestieri looking to go beyond Basham, but Basham does well just to get his body between Forestieri and the ball, and Forestieri tries to kid the officials by picking the ball up and heading towards the corner flag, but they weren't fooled. It's a goal kick.
No, just going back to the throw in there, I'm not sure Gary Medine would have gone down in Chris Wilder's good books if he tries to do too many turns like that when you're not far outside your own 18-yard box. Fortunately for their perspective, he got away with it. I think now we're going into the closing stages of this first half. Both teams will got to make sure that they don't give away needless free kicks, or make sure that they don't give away a goal when really no team deserves really to score at this moment in time.
Well, Medine has a free kick, just hauled back by Hector, and Lee Bullen has now been given the job by Steve Bruce of telling the fourth official he disagreed. It's all about delegation, isn't it, when you're a manager? Free kick which Norwood will take, right-footed, high towards the far post. Medine will rise and nods it back in field, then Bannon heads it across his own penalty area. Fletcher though does well to hook the ball away. Fletcher is marking Medine at set pieces before Stevens tries to return the ball over the top towards the United left-hand side, and it's overhit and out of play.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Edna Stevens was trying there. Maybe it's come back to him on the half volley. It'd have been probably better with the odd minute to go before the half-time whistle goes. Just put it back into the 18-yard box where all his big hitters are. So a bad decision there.
Basham now inside the centre circle has the opportunity to bring the ball forward for United as we tick towards the final seconds of the 45. Freeman gives the ball away. Palmer has to go back to Bannon, and Bannon's clearance hits Medine, or rather Freeman, in the face and goes out of play for a throw into Wednesday, and there'll be 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half.
Yeah, as I mentioned just previously,
basically it's Groundhog Day from the game in November, isn't it?
I think we talked it up before the game, didn't we, thinking
so it won't be as bad as that.
No way it can be as bad as that, and I don't think it has been so far, because at least both teams have been trying to attack when they've had the opportunity. I think it's credit to both teams that they've sort of worked so hard to cancel each other out, rather than one team at Bramall Lane not even looking to try and take the game to the opposition.
Now Aarons wide to this near side for Wednesday. Fletcher tries to find Aarons again, who just miscontrols and gives Fleck the opportunity to knock it back towards Dean Henderson. This is a very different fare to the match here last season when United scored 4 times at Hillsborough for the first time in their history. Now Medine has gone down under the challenge of Hector, right in front of Steve Bruce, and from a couple of yards away Steve Bruce bellows his displeasure. I don't think the free kick's been given, has it?
I think it has, actually.
Yeah.
Was it Hector on Medine?
Hector on Medine again.
He's got back up right in front of the benches. 4th officials getting it in both ears again. But it is going to allow in the last minute or so Norwood the opportunity to put in another free kick from the similar area that he's done for most of the first half, looking to get the runners off the Sheffield Wednesday back 4 or 5 that are in there.
We've played 1 minute and 40 seconds. Norwood with the free kick in towards the near post area, and it's glanced on at that near post by Egan, and it's high over the top.
It's very difficult from up here, isn't it, to know what the conditions are like. Is it a swirling wind? We've seen the rain coming down. Is it difficult for the players to, when they're putting the ball in, to judge the flight of it, how they, with the whip on it, are they going to put it into certain areas? Because we're such high up here, aren't we? So high up, should I say. Yeah,
we're right at the back of the main stand here at Hillsborough. A great panoramic view of this old stadium with the Kop to our right-hand side, the end which Wednesday will be attacking in the second half. As Forestieri goes down, uses his hand to bat the ball away. He was going down looking for the free kick, which wasn't going to be given, so that's handball, and it's a free kick for United.
Yeah, there's a few disgruntled supporters again. Steve Bruce throwing his arms up in the air about the referee, but I think it's probably a free kick, handball. It wasn't a foul or anything like that. I think the referee will just let it go on now. Blow for the half-time whistle, but maybe not.
Well, here's Basham with a high ball forward into the penalty area. Iorfa will clear. Fleck just allows the ball to bounce. We played the 3 minutes of added time, and that is half-time. And there are a couple of boos around Hillsborough, I think, for the performance of the officials, not as a reaction to the way Sheffield Wednesday have played, because both teams have worked extremely hard to cancel each other out in the opening 45 minutes. One clear-cut chance, Kieran Westwood with a fine save to block Gary Medine's far post header early on, and without any question the man of the match so far has been Jeremy Simpson, the 4th official, for getting it in both ears from both technical areas. Half-time, it is goalless at Hillsborough. Well, Steve Bruce has gone for experience once again. 33-year-old George Boyd coming on for the second half. Another player who's had a long spell out with injury this season, and he's been stuck on 99 career goals for nearly a year as well. But Forestieri and Fletcher, there were times in the first half, Simon, where they weren't even in the same postal district, were they?
No, they were not at the combination play they expected them to have. It'd be interesting whether it's a tactical substitution or it's more through an injury that Forestieri's gone off, because regardless of Forestieri not having an influence on the game, he can still do something out of nothing. So I do think that it might be an injury rather than a tactical substitution, but only that dressing room of Sheffield Wednesday and Steve Bruce will know that.
And we're back underway in the second half here on TalkSport 2. The rain has eased in the half-time interval from torrential to merely persistent, as Sheffield Wednesday defend the goal away to our left-hand side in the second half, as United look to come forward now with Fleck, who has shrugged off Hutchinson. The early ball forward, finding sharp inside the penalty area, and the ball never quite fell for him as he tangled with Hector, and it bobbles through towards Westwood.
Yeah, strong start from Sheffield United down the left-hand side, ball into the box, and unfortunately it just ran right through to Kieran Westwood, else Billy Sharp could have been having an opportunity one-on-one.
First involvement for Boyd on the far side, with that long, lank black hair, and a high cross in from him. The acrobatics from Fletcher. Well, he scored an overhead kick recently, and he was trying another one there, but this time he got right underneath it into the Kop.
Yeah, it'd be interesting if he could have maybe tried to direct his the volley with it, rather he should have had a header maybe. It was just slightly behind him, maybe got carried away from the other week where he scored a little bit closer to goal, but fair opportunity, and fair credit to him for trying it anyway.
The teams again for Wednesday: Westwood in goal, Palmer, Lees, Hector and Iorfa, Reach, Hutchinson, Bannon and Aarons. It's now Boyd for Forestieri alongside Fletcher. For United, Henderson in goal, Basham, Egan and O'Connell the back three, Freeman and Stevens in the wide area, Fleck, Norwood and Dowell in midfield, Medine and Sharp in attack. No changes for the Blades at half-time. A reminder of the situation at the top of the table: Norwich on 69 points, Leeds 67, Sheffield United 64, with a better goal difference, so they need to win here to go back above their Yorkshire rivals into the top two once again. And of course they go to Ellen Road a week on Saturday.
Just going back to George Boyd, bags of experience, stuck on 99 goals, like you said. What an opportunity, and to go down in Sheffield Wednesday folk history, should I say, of if he can get up to that 100 mark tonight.
Well, he's always been a very languid looking player, but he does have undoubted quality as United look to come forward now. Fleck though drives the cross in towards Sam Hutchinson, and it spins out of play for a throw-in to Sheffield United, who are attacking the end which houses their supporters, spread between the two tiers of the Leppings Lane stand. All of their fans on their feet, and all of the seats taken apart from the areas which have been designated as safety areas, and they are heavily populated by police and stewards. As Henderson, wearing all orange, plays out from the back for Sheffield United. Basham plays it forward down the right hand side, chested off by Medine, and there's an opportunity for Dowell to try and feed Sharp, and Sharp there was being pulled by Lees, but the referee is happy for play to continue as United bring it forward with Freeman down the right hand side. Now Basham on the overlap, swoops into the penalty area, back towards the shot from Norwood, and Norwood tried to clip the ball in towards the far post, maybe a cross or a shot, and it was just beyond a lunging Sharp and behind for a corner.
I think he'd be disappointed there, Oliver Norwood, that it's been pulled back to him on the edge of the box. Good work by Freeman and Basham. First time we've seen Chris Basham really push forward on the right hand side, pulls it back to Norwood, who really with his ability should be hitting the target, and the miss Scrooge shot nearly fell to Billy Sharp, but I think Oliver Norwood will be hugely disappointed that he's not hit the target, because there wasn't really a Sheffield Wednesday player in too close proximity to him.
4 minutes played in the second half on TalkSport 2 at Hillsborough, the Steel City derby, the start of another massive week of football and cricket across the TalkSport network. Dortmund against Spurs, the football commentary tomorrow on TalkSport, with Spurs taking a 3-goal lead to Germany. Here on 2, there'll be commentary of the first T20 international, part of our exclusive coverage of England's winter of cricket, as Fletcher just closed down Henderson on the right hand side, and the free kick's being given to United.
Well, Dean Henderson there, he allowed the opportunity for Stephen Fletcher to close him down by taking the extra touch. It came back to him on his left foot. Most goalkeepers would have cleared it first time with his left foot, but decided to try and take a touch across his right foot and got the clearance, but Fletcher was very close to closing him down and blocking the clearance.
Henderson clears downfield, but it's straight to Aarons, who can move forward now down the Wednesday left. Boyd and Fletcher inside. Aarons though takes everybody on his own, and he's caught by Basham, and it's a free kick, much better than a corner, out on the far side, the Wednesday left.
Well, it's the first time we've seen Aarons really get the opportunity and space to run at Sheffield United, and he's running towards the corner flag, and probably from Chris Basham's experience, he doesn't need to make that.
He's going nowhere, is he?
He's going nowhere, so he doesn't have to make the tackle, and it's giving Barry Bannon the opportunity to put it into the box. So unless he's declined, yeah, it's going to be Bannon. So got plenty of bodies in the box. Can he pick somebody out?
David McGoldrick now warming up for Sheffield United beneath us, but a more immediate concern for Chris Wilder is this free kick. Dowell is the one-man wall, and Peter Banks, the referee, is just sorting out some pushing and pulling inside the penalty area. Hector and Basham up against each other right on the goal line here in front of the goalkeeper, And now the referee will just call the two players towards him, because Basham was holding Hector there, and if they'd taken the quick free kick, that could have been a penalty.
I think even when I'm just looking down here now, Steve Bruce instructing Aarons to go across. I think it's something that Sheffield Wednesday have probably worked on, a free kick from this position. Whether they can work it.
Bannon's free kick, an outswinger. Lees was shaping for it. It's eventually swept away by Freeman, and Wednesday now could be under pressure as United break. Dowell streaking forward down the right hand side. Fleck is the furthest player forward. He's now joined by Sharp, but coming back to make an excellent challenge was Adam Reach, and he had to get that right on the edge of the penalty area, and he clears away to the far side for a throw-in.
Quick counter attack from Sheffield United, but Sheffield Wednesday responded really quickly by getting back from their original free kick, and Dowell really should have probably gone on the outside, trusted his ability a little bit more, and tried to get one versus one against Adam Reach, and the consequent play from there now has led to Sheffield United corner.
And Fleck has gone across to take it on the far side. 7 minutes played in the second half on TalkSport 2. It remains goalless at Hillsborough, and it's been very, very tight so far. Both teams need the victory, but know how damaging a defeat would be as well. Fleck with the corner, right on underneath the goalkeeper, and challenging for it was O'Connell in the air, but it's eventually scrambled clear by Hector. Westwood got nowhere near that, and the ball wide to this near side from Stevens doesn't find Basham, and it's out of play for a throw-in.
Yeah, good delivery in from Fleck. Plenty of bodies in there, but again, nobody really having the purpose to go and head it in and cause the opposition any problems.
Iorfa plays it back towards Lees from the throw-in, and the Wednesday central defender plays it forward, but Fletcher has not had too much change out of either O'Connell or Egan so far, and doesn't win the ball on this occasion. Basham's long ball forward. Medine leaps above Palmer and tries to chest the ball down for Dowell, but in the end the ball breaks to Aarons, and Aarons does well to maintain possession in a confined area on the far side, and it's back to the bright orange boots of Michael Hector. A long ball across the face of the field from right to left towards this near side. Iorfa now looks to bring it forward, but he's engaged by Fleck and then checks back to find Lees once again, and Wednesday here are finding it very difficult to get in behind United as the move breaks down, and Stevens plays it forward down the left, and Sharp in a wrestling match with Lees, two former Leeds United players there, and Lees does well to go to ground and make the challenge, and Sharp was looking for the quick throw-in from Stevens because of course he couldn't have been offside, but in the end Stevens holds on to it and finds Dowell. Dowell goes back towards O'Connell as United look to build down their left, and the cross in from Dowell played in very flat and onto the head of Hector, but it's quickly recovered by Norwood. Wide to the far side, and Basham back inside towards Norwood again, but such are the lack of options available for either side around the penalty area. It's all got rather stodgy in the midfield so far.
Yeah, I think that's been very much typical of the first half, as we've had for the first 10 minutes of the second half, where plenty of play in the middle of the pitch, but the real key players of each team have not really been able to influence the game. Dowell for Sheffield United, you've had Forestieri the first half, or Bannon Reach, Aarons second half, so we just want one of these real talented players to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make something happen.
Egan clips it forward, wide to the far side. Medine looking to put himself about, does well to just buffet Aarons off the ball and win it back, and now Medine will try and clip it forward. Sharp will make the run, but Lee steps in ahead of him to clear, but most of the second balls are dropping to red and white striped shirts at the moment. Norwood and Freeman looking to bring it forward on the far side. Now Basham slides it forward towards Freeman, who was on his heels, level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area. So as a result, he was in no position to try and overlap for the cross, and it's gone behind for a goal.
Yeah, just trying to hold his run there. Didn't want to get offside as Chris Basham's trying to play him in down the right hand side. Sheffield Wednesday supporters trying to get behind the team, because it's been Sheffield United so far that have been the team that have started the second half better. Looking at the substitutions for both teams, you've got Duffy, McGoldrick warming up for Sheffield United, Manui for Sheffield Wednesday, so plenty of options available, and probably a little bit too early for for any of the teams to consider a substitution yet.
56 minutes played, goalless at Hillsborough. On TalkSport 2, Basham with a long raking ball forward down the centre. Sharp will chase, Lees with the backheader towards the goalkeeper, and Sharp catches Westwood, and the free kick is given. Sharp disappointed with that decision, but Westwood is flat out.
Look, it's one of them opportunities where it was a short backheader from Tom Lees. Billy Sharp has got the right to go for it. I think he's probably just caught Kieran Westwood. I don't think he's doing anything maliciously. I don't think he's caught him with too much venom or aggression. I think he just accidentally caught him, and as we see now, he's getting up quite easily. So right decision from the referee. Free kick, but not a yellow card.
You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. And Westwood, back on his feet, will take the free kick for Sheffield Wednesday just inside their penalty area. Chris Wilder in deep discussion with Alan Nill, his assistant. Beneath us on the edge of the United technical area, Steve Bruce standing motionless a few yards to his right. As Wednesday try and come forward now. Palmer infield to pick out Iorfa down the right, and now Reach will come back infield onto his left foot, checks back. Hutchinson finding Iorfa again, and now Reach on the edge of the penalty area. He is all left foot, but on his right he does well to backheel and find Hutchinson. A high cross played in, nodded down by Fletcher, but he can't link up with Boyd, but it's recovered by Bannon. Bannon now finds Aarons and points him towards the byline, and Aarons hits the byline, drives in the cross. Was it flicked away by Henderson? It was, and it's a throw-in to Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, first bit of pressure, sustained pressure from Sheffield Wednesday. They're keeping the ball alive, got it out to Adam Reach, put the ball in the box. Aarons on the left-hand side got a first opportunity to run at Freeman, puts in a real strong cross. Looked like Henderson got a flick to it, and Sheffield Wednesday kicking towards their own supporters are desperate to try and get this opening goal.
Well, the storm seems to have passed through. The wind and rain has now ceased completely here at Hillsborough, but Billy Sharp has been penalised for a challenge on Hutchinson, and Peter Banks, the referee, must be getting fairly close to showing somebody a yellow card here.
It's interesting, isn't it? Sheffield United must have had 3 or 4 free kicks from exactly the same spot that Sheffield Wednesday have got one from now. Bit of a needless free kick from Billy Sharp. Will allow Bannon to put an in-swinging free kick in. But at least Sheffield Wednesday having a little bit of sustained pressure. Ball goes in the box, they're keeping second balls and then get it back out to the 2 wide players who have certainly been coming into the game a lot more.
Martin Craney will be coming on shortly for United. Bannon plays the free kick short. It's a dreadful one. He gave Aarons absolutely no chance, and now Sharp in a wrestling match with Hutchinson on this near side, and the ball just bobbles away off the Wednesday man for a throw-in.
Real strange decision from Barry Bannon there. He's got the opportunity with his great left foot to put an in-swinging ball, plays a short one and goes straight to a Sheffield United shirt. So he'll be hugely disappointed that he didn't allow the opportunity for the strikers, the centre-backs, to go and attack the ball.
Nearly an hour played, and that United change is imminent as Freeman plays it forward down the line far side. There's a chase for Medine, who invites the challenge and doesn't get the free kick as Palmer sends him to the turf, but the final touch was off Medine, and it's a Wednesday throw-in, and Medine gets plenty of stick as a couple of beer glasses come down from that stand on the far side. They land some way away from Gary Medine, and the plastic glasses are kicked away by Barry Bannon.
Yeah, it's not something we want to see really, sort of any description of anything coming onto the pitch. Looking down here, Martin Craney going to be coming on. It'll be interesting to see if Sheffield United decide to change shape or just personnel.
Well, a long ball is just lofted into the Wednesday half. Reach will chase. He was the only blue and white striped shirt anywhere near it, but Stevens gets there first to clear. Now Lees plays it down the line on the near side, the Wednesday right. Reach tells Lees he didn't appreciate that sort of service again, and it's cleared away by Wednesday. Norwood wide to the far side, and Basham, who strides away from Aarons and plays it further wide to Freeman. Dowell, Sharp and Medine all wait for the cross, but Freeman runs it straight out of play, and the change will be made now, and it's Craney coming on for Dowell.
This will be interesting if they're going to, how they're going to change, because Dowell obviously playing just behind Medine and Sharp, where Craney, who's more natural of a defender, is he going to go to a back four and move Freeman up further up the pitch and go 4-4-2? We'll have to wait and see. Or Basham maybe goes into midfield and goes as an out-and-out midfield player. They're going as a Norwood holding midfield player. Basham and Fleck will look to join in, and Craney going in on the right-hand side of the back five, or back three, should I say.
Well, Basham has the ability to play further up the field, and that's what he's doing now, as Medine can't control on the far side. Bannon makes the challenge, and now the early ball is played forward by Bannon over the top, looking for Reach, who was heavily outnumbered once again by United cover, and it bobbles through towards Dean Henderson. And for the home side, Sheffield Wednesday aren't getting too many bodies forward, are they?
No, they're not. They're playing with a little bit more tempo, looking to get the ball to Reach, who's sort of first half been a little bit non-existent. Adam Reach, fantastic player hired at Preston, can do something out of nothing. We've seen him score many goals, but he's not had the service really the first half. Second half he's had a little bit more. I think Sheffield Wednesday need to just try and work through the lines a little bit, but it's very difficult when you've got the three midfield players of both teams in there cancelling each other out.
62 minutes played. At the moment we are heading for the third successive goalless draw between these two sides, but a point doesn't really help either of them. At the top, the main beneficiaries would be Norwich, because they would be 4 points clear of third place, and of course with Leeds playing Sheffield United in a couple of weeks, the Canaries' position could be even stronger.
Yeah, and Sheffield Wednesday won't be too...
Well, it's given away momentarily on this near side by O'Connell, but he recovers with the help of Stevens, and Norwood will go back towards Egan, and he finds Craney slotting in to the right of the back three, with Freeman still on his outside, and Craney's ball wide to the far side just takes a touch off Bannon and goes out of play for a throw-in, which is launched long down the line, flicked on by Medine, and United make maybe 40 yards on the far side to earn another throw-in, almost level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area.
It's a little bit more clearer now that Norwood's still the holding midfield player, but it looks like Fleck and especially Basham will look to join in, run forward and try and support Medine and Sharp, and do something different that Sheffield United have not been had in the locker so far in terms of trying to break this very strong-minded Sheffield Wednesday back four and midfield three.
64 minutes played, still goalless in the Steel City derby on TalkSport 2 as Fletcher neatly lays it off wide to the far side. Aarons has the opportunity to bring the ball forward, plays the early ball into the penalty area. Hutchinson is there, but he shoots it straight at Henderson, and it's Wednesday's best opportunity so far.
Well, what a fantastic ball into the box. Not quite sure what Fleck's doing. He's just let it come all the way across the 6-yard box, and Hutchinson's made great ground up to get into the box and fired it straight at Dean Henderson. Should he have done better? Probably, but right place at the right time for Dean Henderson, but a big opportunity for Sheffield Wednesday there.
There's now a wrestling match on the far side between Aarons and Craney, and as a result United have a free kick, but what an opportunity there for Sam Hutchinson. His last goal was in August of 2017, and it was straight at the goalkeeper. It's
across the 6-yard box, and he's just stretching to get something on it really, but he's made good contact and it's gone straight at Dean Henderson. Either side of him is in the back of the net, and they'll be celebrating in front of the home fans there, but we're seeing two opportunities in the same area that have gone straight at keepers rather than at the side, else we could have a different scoreline so far.
Now O'Connell on this near side, the left, launches it down the line. There's a chase for Sharp, but it's over his head, over Lee's head, and out of play for a goal kick. And Billy Sharp heading for his 6th successive Steel City derby without a goal. He seems to score against everybody else, but he can't do it against Sheffield Wednesday.
No, he'd love to score in this game, wouldn't he? He'd won for the bragging rights 3 points and get them up further up the table, but at the moment in time it's been the Sheffield Wednesday two wide players who are influencing the game a lot more than any of the Sheffield United players. Reach and Aarons down either side are causing a few problems.
And in the last 47 games in which Sharp has scored, United haven't lost. Now Stevens has problems with Iorfa on this near side. It's back towards Reach, who can open out onto his left foot, but he doesn't cross. He instead finds Boyd. Boyd infield towards Bannon again. Reach holds his run to stay onside. Bannon comes into the penalty area. Maybe thought about cutting inside to shoot, but instead comes back outside the penalty area and finds Palmer. Palmer now with a right-footed shot. Well, he hardly ever scores, and it's over the top.
Well, quite speculative from there that Liam Palmer's come on his right foot from the left back area, and might as well have a shot. If you don't shoot, you don't get the opportunity to score. But it has been quite clear that Sheffield Wednesday are the more dominant team. They're getting into the wide areas, getting a few more bodies, pushing forward. Looks like Sheffield United are going to make a change. David McGoldrick coming on, probably for Gary Medine.
And McGoldrick getting final instructions as Hector heads away on the far side. Then Palmer tries to find touch, and eventually Basham does. Wednesday with a throw-in down the line looking for Fletcher, but his ball in field is hooked towards the Wednesday goal. But then a free kick has been given against Medine, and it's Medine who is coming off. So the former Sheffield Wednesday man doesn't score against his former club, and you can hear the reaction from the home supporters as Gary Medine very slowly makes his way off. We spoke about his checkered career here at Hillsborough, scored the goals which helped Wednesday back into the Championship, was then jailed for ABH and GBH, and he makes a very deliberate point of applauding the United fans away to the left as he comes across to this near side.
Yeah, we thought before the game that his aerial advantage over Lees and Hector might be an advantage for Sheffield United. Not being quite the case, so you got somebody of David McGoldrick's experience and quality will play slightly different. He'll drop into little pockets and give Sheffield Wednesday a different opportunity and different problems. So I think it's probably the right call from Chris. Sometimes when you got a striker who's 6'4", it can be an easy option for your back defenders, back three, back five, that you don't take the responsibility of playing into people's feet. You're playing the easy option of hitting the big target man, look for second balls. Not quite worked tonight for Medina or Sheffield United. Now Sheffield Wednesday have got something, a different type of option to deal with McGoldrick up alongside Billy Sharp.
68 minutes played, 0-0, and TalkSport 2 supports the work of Prostate Cancer UK. Remember, in the time it takes to play a game of football, 2 men in the UK will die of prostate cancer. To find out more on how you can help, visit prostatecanceruk.org/football. And as Medine made his way to the United bench there was quite a reaction from the Wednesday fans sat behind him. I'm not sure if anything was said by either party, but McGoldrick, who saw a penalty saved in the game at Bramall Lane back in November, is now on the field alongside Billy Sharp, and they've been a very effective partnership the longer the season's gone on. Yeah, it's quite clear straight away that he's dropping more off Billy Sharp. Billy Sharp's playing up against Lees and Hector. McGoldrick in around Barry Bannon out of possession, but in possession they'll be looking to try and get him into his feet, get on the half turn, and then slide rule passes for the wing backs or the midfield players, or Billy Sharp running between Lees and Hector. So different, as I said, different problem for Sheffield Wednesday to solve, but something that Sheffield United had to do because they were a little bit one-dimensional really. Bodies go tumbling as McGoldrick comes in to win it back here from Palmer. Palmer then tries to head the ball out of play, and Palmer is penalised for a push on Basham, and it will be a free kick for Sheffield United. And we are into the final 20 minutes on TalkSport 2, and we still await the first goal. Don't forget, tomorrow night Dortmund against Spurs is on TalkSport. The first T20 International will be live and exclusive here on TalkSport 2, and the second one of those will be here on Friday evening. A long ball is played forward for United, wide on the far side, then Hector comes and slices the ball up in the air and out of play. It will be a throw into the Blades, a couple of yards from the corner flag on the far side there, right into the feet of Basham, and back out wide towards Freeman, who comes in field. Craney in support now. Basham thought about the ball around the corner back towards Craney, but instead turns himself. Craney jabs it in field, appeals for handball as he's challenged by Bannon, but nothing is given. Another long ball for Stephen Fletcher to fight for, and he wins the header but can't find a teammate, and it's eventually funneled back towards Dean Henderson.
Yeah, the ball going up to Fletcher, and it's a bit of a hopeless ball up to him that could do with a little bit more quality into his chest, into his feet, which allow him to get hold of it, to bring in the likes of Reach, Aarons and Boyd, who's come on and replaced Forestieri. So not a great deal of quality still from both teams. Game's on a knife edge that it could still go either way with 20 minutes so to go, and everybody knows the significance of these 3 points, what it can do to both teams.
And it's got the look of one goal deciding this now.
Yeah, we were hoping before the game, weren't we, that it's going to be a classic of 2 or 3 goals, but I think we'll be happy just to take one more with Nigel.
Well, the way it's going at the moment, one will probably be enough, because I think the effect on the team which concedes will make it very difficult for them to come back, as Basham plays another long ball forward into the channel, right hand side. Sharp will try and get there and use his barrel chest to hold off Lees, but Wednesday get bodies around the ball, and it's cleared away by Hector up to the halfway line, but quickly flicked forward by Craney, and then McGoldrick nods it down neatly to the far side, and Freeman, who just helps it forward in the general direction of the penalty area, but neither Sharp or McGoldrick can fasten onto it, and it's cleared away by Hector, and it will be a throw-in for United on the far side with 17 minutes to play at Hillsborough on TalkSport 2. If it stays like this, the big winners of the night really will be Norwich and Leeds, because they will remain in the automatic promotion places above Sheffield United, and there will be a 4-point gap between Norwich and third place. And doesn't sound like too much, but it's a significant gap at this stage of the season.
Well, it is, as the games are going by and you're getting chalked off, and before you know it, in the next couple of weeks we're going to be down to the last half a dozen games, and if Norwich have still got a decent advantage, they'll be very confident and get promotion. But we've all said it, that the Championship is still going to turn up some twists and turns from now to the end of the season, that when a team is looking to take advantage, can they do that? And so far, Sheffield United always knew that this was going to be a tough game tonight. Never going to be easy coming into a local derby where you're going to just turn up and get the 3 points. You've got to earn the right, but they've just got to do a little bit more to try and secure the 3 points.
Well, Norwich start the footballing weekend next time out on Friday when they entertain Swansea. There'll be updates on that game on TalkSport. Leeds with a big game away to Bristol City, 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, and before then Sheffield United are at home to Rotherham, and there'll be commentary on that game here on TalkSport 2. Long clearance downfield from Henderson for United, headed away by Hector, the man on loan from Chelsea, and then the free kick given for the challenge by Basham on Aarons, and it's a free kick for Sheffield Wednesday. And how many fouls has Basham given away?
To be fair, you've took the words right out of my mouth there. I'm just thinking, how many free kicks have been given tonight, but not through nasty challenges, but just stupid little ones, running into the back of somebody when you can't win the first header, or pushing somebody. I bet you it's in the 20s.
Well, the free kick comes to nothing. Well, there's not really been, it's a local derby, there's not really been a bad challenge in the game, has there?
No, and when we're talking there about free kicks that have been made tonight, there's not one where it's gone, oh, that's a bit of a naughty challenge, that's really got the anger of the crowd, or got the tempo of the game. It's been like needless ones, little tippy-tappy ones that are stopping the flow of the game, and that's no fault of the referee, because players have been making them fouls and he has to give them, and it's just probably stopped the flow of any consistent play for both teams.
Guy Clark, our producer, tells me there have been 30 fouls so far, 15 apiece. As Sharp is caught by Hutchinson on this near side, but it's quickly gathered by McGoldrick, and now Fleck looks to change the point of the attack and drives a low ball into the penalty area, blocked by Hector. Sharp will try and regather, he then goes down, but any appeals for a penalty mainly came from the crowd, but it's quickly regathered by Norwood, and McGoldrick tries to slip the ball into the penalty area, but it's behind Sharp, hasn't gone out of play, It's played by Iorfa on this near side and eventually cleared, but straight back to Fleck. Fleck now finding McGoldrick on the edge of the penalty area, drifting away to the left, back towards Fleck again, who will try and drive towards the byline. He's got support from O'Connell, and now McGoldrick's low ball in is rather awkwardly kneed away by Lees. Norwood clips it back into the box. McGoldrick jabs it across the face of goal, and sliding in 3 yards out, Hector launches the ball away for a corner.
Well, I think Chris Wilder will be delighted with the impact that David McGoldrick's made, that he's causing Sheffield Wednesday different types of problems, that he's dropping into areas, he's going wide where Medine was just quite happy to be in around the 18-yard box. But good combination play from McGoldrick, plays it into Norwood more mid-central of the pitch, and then plays a reverse pass for McGoldrick, who then gets in good first-time pass across the 6-yard box, and good defending, but a little bit different for Sheffield United.
The corner from Norwood, high to the far post. Westwood has lost it, and then he palms at it, flaps at it, and gets a couple of fingernails on it to divert it behind.
Well, it's one of them, a bit like the first half. Billy Sharp's in amongst him, not giving him that free opportunity, Kieran Westwood, to come out and collect the ball, and he got in no man's land a little bit and managed to palm it away for another corner. 13
minutes to play, 0-0. Fleck with an in-swinger towards the near post. Hector again does well to rise and clear. Fleck will try and regather before Bannon. Now Norwood played the right sort of ball down the line, right hand side for Basham, but it was overhit and out for a throw-in.
Yeah, I think both teams have defended set pieces really well. Balls have been going in the box, and they've been the aerial dominance of the defending team. Just looking down to the Sheffield Wednesday bench, they're going to be making another substitution.
There's movement on both benches at the moment as the gentle drizzle continues to come down here at Hillsborough, and with 78 minutes played it remains 0-0, and it's Morgan Fox who is coming on, a more orthodox left back.
Yeah, I think Iorfa was just maybe struggling with a little bit of cramp a couple of minutes ago, just looked him stretching his hamstring, so if he does make that decision, Palmer will come across to right back and Fox into left back.
As United try and come forward on this near side with O'Connell, but sliding in to make the challenge was Hutchinson, and Simon scored that right. It's Dominic Iorfa who is coming off, so Wednesday's back four will now have more balance, with Fox going over to the left-hand side and Palmer in his more familiar role down the right.
Yeah, bit of cramp, I think, from the young lad on loan from Wolves.
Well, he's not played a huge amount of football for a long time, Dominic Iorfa. Now McGoldrick plays it back into his own half, and it'll be gathered by Craney, square to Egan. Boyd will try and pressurise them with shuttle runs between the central defenders, but now Craney has time to bring it forward on the far side, the right, as he strides away from Fletcher, further wide towards Freeman, and Craney again now. His run was blocked off by Bannon. Bannon believes he took it out of play, but Craney carries on into the penalty area. Left foot shot from him takes a deflection off Hector and goes away for a corner. I don't think the shot was going in, but what an outstanding run for Martin Craney.
Yeah, he got himself into a position where he's probably not the most comfortable. He did ever so well down the right hand side, decided then to drive in on inside where the space was, and looked to it. The shot with the left foot deflected away for another Sheffield United corner.
Fleck will take it on the far side. Basham makes the run towards the near post. It's beyond him. Egan will leap. It's headed across the face of goal. Nodded down looking for McGoldrick, who hooks it back into the penalty area, and in the end it's cleared away to this near side. Sharp will try and regather, and all he can do is just hook the ball against the knees of Palmer, and it's gone behind for another corner, but Stephen Fletcher is down inside the 6-yard area first.
A little bit sustained pressure from Sheffield United. Won the first ball, second ball as well, and then bobbling around, Fletcher managed to get a little bit on it. From Sheffield Wednesday's perspective, lucky to clear the lines, and going to see Norwood take another corner. Plenty of corners. Let's see if we can get a good delivery and somebody executing the ball.
Norwood again, right-footed, high to the far post. Westwood comes one-handed again. Doesn't really make any sort of significant contact. It's hooked up in the air at the far post by Hutchinson, and the high bouncing ball is eventually gathered by Boyd by the corner flag. He tries to dig the ball out. All he can do is find Basham. Basham is then cut down by Hutchinson, and it's a free kick level with the edge of the Wednesday penalty area on the far side, and tempers just beginning to boil over as Hutchinson is called across to the referee.
Yeah, just a tackle there where on the far side where probably again didn't have to make that challenge. We saw Westwood flap at another corner, gives Sheffield United the opportunity to put it in again. So far for Sheffield Wednesday's perspective, they defended their set pieces really well, but if you keep giving free kicks away, the more opportunities come for the opposition if you're not careful.
Norwood will take the free kick on the far side. And it's an outswinger again, high to the far post. Egan rising with the header, and it's hacked away by Hector. And he was fouled as he made that clearance, and it's a free kick to Wednesday.
Good concentration from Sheffield Wednesday. Great balling from Norwood. Sheffield United won the first contact and then ultimately dropped in the box, and Hector was alive. Managed to get a clearance on it, and was caught from Billy Sharp. I think he was looking for that second phase, but Hector did ever so well there, limping away at this moment in time. But got to put your body on the line if you're a centre back, and that's what he's done.
8 minutes to play, goalless. You're listening to Sheffield Wednesday against Sheffield United on TalkSport 2 with McDonald's Fun Football, providing over 5 million hours of fun grassroots football to the UK by 2022. Clearance on the far side by Egan, doesn't find the intended target. Wednesday will try and bring it forward, but Fletcher just pushes his man over outside the United penalty area, and it will be a free kick and an opportunity for Chris Wilder's men to clear.
Yeah, one of them needless free kicks again. How many times have we said that tonight? And it's probably been one of the reasons why we've not really had the free-flowing game or the opportunities where both teams are asking questions of the opposition. Because just needless free kicks. Both physios looking to come on, but is it Jack O'Connell? Yeah, he's back up on his feet now. We're going to go into the last sort of 8 minutes, 7 minutes of the game. We're going to have a bit of injury time. Is there going to be an opportunity for one of them? Is one of the key players for either team going to make something happen now or nothing? Last 5-8 minutes or so, Sheffield United have been the more dominant team. We're up to then Sheffield Wednesday with the likes of Reach, Aarons have been coming into the game more, but in that period of time they've drifted out of the game, and Sheffield United have had more of an impact on it.
Well, United have been inside the top 6 since they beat Steve Bruce's Aston Villa by 4-1 on September the 1st. A lot of water has passed under the bridge since then, but if they want to return to the top 2, they need to find a goal in the next 6.5 minutes. Now Freeman plays it infield to Norwood. A high ball lofted towards the edge of the penalty area. Craney does well to gather, plays it back to Norwood. Boyd slides in from behind Norwood, but won the ball cleanly. Aarons tries to bring it clear, but he didn't see Basham coming, and he's robbed him. And Basham now down the right-hand side, plays it infield towards Norwood. Now McGoldrick on the edge of the penalty area. The ball just spins up as he controls, but he does well to loft it wide to the left-hand side, and Stevens. Infield again towards O'Connell. Stevens back towards Fleck. Sharp waits on the edge of the penalty area. Fleck continues his run. O'Connell now back towards Stevens. Now McGoldrick. McGoldrick around the corner looking for O'Connell, but it's an excellent challenge. Liam Palmer going to ground, but making sure he got the ball, not the man, and it's a throw in to Sheffield United.
Sheffield United have been a different team with McGoldrick on. Yes, the aerial threat of Medine that we mentioned, but he's such a clever player. He gets it into little pockets, gets on the half turn looking for the pass of Stevens, and even O'Connell's looking to join in now in the latter reaches of this second half.
Now O'Connell, a high lofted ball over Billy Sharp into the penalty area, nodded away. Basham thought about the volley, but in fact I think Freeman got in his way, but it's won back by Norwood. High into the penalty area looking for McGoldrick, and now Basham heads it square to this near side. Fleck will step in before Palmer, and now Stevens can swoop towards the penalty area and find Norwood again. Back towards O'Connell, incessant pressure now from United. Norwood's ball into the penalty area, nodded away at the far post by Fox, and there's the opportunity now for Wednesday to break with Aarons over the halfway line. He's got Craney backpedaling, but Craney judged the challenge very well. An attack quickly turns into defence for Wednesday as Basham strides clear wide towards the far side, and Sharp has Craney on the overlap. Craney delivers the cross in low, and Lees is there to make the block at the near post. The ball's not gone out of play. Hector will now try and clear, but he loses out to Basham, and Basham, though, under pressure from Hector, just bobbles the ball over the line, and it's a throw into Wednesday.
Fair credit, both teams trying to win it. You saw Sheffield United breaking forward, then all of a sudden Wednesday defended really well. They were on the counter-attack where it looked like they had the overload. Aarons was defended really well against Craney, and then all of a sudden the bodies that Sheffield Wednesday had thrown forward were then vulnerable to the counter-attack from Sheffield United, and they broke very quickly, but ultimately Sheffield Wednesday defended it really well, and it petered out, but at least it's opening up a little bit more. That's both teams still trying to get the 3 points and not happy to settle for a point each.
Both teams need to win, and that urgency is now shown in the final 3.5 minutes on TalkSport 2. Palmer plays it down the line, but Boyd can't gather, and the back pass from O'Connell just for a second looked to be going beyond Henderson, who made the run beyond the near post, and the ball was heading towards the goal, but the goalkeeper recovers, and here is Norwood. Another good ball from him wide to the left hand side. Stevens, though, just can't gather it as it skips off the wet turf, and it's out of play for a throw-in.
Dean Henderson there, kind of sort of flashes going through his mind of what happened at Bramall Lane, where he took a touch, and Leeds managed to benefit from a goal late on as well, which won Leeds United the 3 points. So he managed to get a touch on it first and clear quickly. Are we going to get a winner in this last few minutes?
31,630 the crowd, the biggest of the season here by more than 2,000. Stevens plays it down the line, and Sharp's offside. Appeals from the United supporters who believe that Westwood had gathered outside the penalty area. Well, I don't think we've had too many offsides before then.
No, I don't think there has. I think both teams have defended well, not allowed the space to be played behind them. Billy Sharp there looking to run in behind, but a good line from Sheffield Wednesday's back four. Allow Westwood now to play a long ball into Fletcher, looking for second balls and knockdowns.
2 minutes to play, 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Aarons inside the penalty area, just pushed off it by Freeman, but no real hint of a foul. It's flicked into the box by Reach, and Henderson doesn't come for it. Boyd was offside, and we now have another offside flag.
Well, it's one of them that the assistant referee gives the offside once the striker starts running towards the ball, which is quite infuriating for everybody connected with it, because they probably don't see what happens in the first phase of play.
90 seconds of normal time to play. Adi Nuiu will be coming on shortly, the big man for Sheffield Wednesday, the Kosovan international. And Billy Sharp is flagged offside, having not had an offside for 88 minutes. We've now had 3 in 40 seconds.
Wow. Should we mention that there's been no goals, or we might get some very quickly?
Nuiu coming on for Fletcher right at the end of this game. And Fletcher's worked hard with very little service, and the Wednesday crowd rise to acclaim him because he's done what he could.
Yeah, he's been up there on his own quite a lot. Working hard, trying to occupy many of them 3 centre-backs for Sheffield United. Obviously it's a like for like with Newey coming on, 6'5", 6". Again, looking to hit him on the diagonal. Can they get a second ball with Reach, and Boyd looking for it. Sheffield United defend it well again though.
O'Connell wins that first battle with Nuiu, who has been used as a replacement for much of his Wednesday career for situations like this. 25 seconds of normal time to play. Jeremy Simpson, the fourth official, heads out towards the edge of the technical area as United make heavy weather of closing their lines, and Nuiu wins it in the air before O'Connell eventually plays it forward. Sharp will try and flick the ball on and just nudges into Lees. Lees goes down, and the free kick's given to Sheffield Wednesday. 2 minutes of added time.
Wow, is that all? How often do you see 2 minutes? That's
we've had the trainers on.
Substitutions as well. It's like you very rarely get 2 minutes of injury time in any game.
And Chris Wilder's complaining, I think, A, that there's not enough injury time, and B, about the Billy Sharp free kick. Now Palmer with the high ball forward into the penalty area. Another good leap, this time by O'Connell. It's recovered by Aarons, and it's back towards Bannon. Bannon with the early ball forward. Hector is still up there, but it's cleared away, and now Norwood just plays it forward, and Billy Sharp is the only United player on the halfway line, and he quickly waves forward some reinforcements as Westwood comes 45 yards from his goal and clears long downfield. Hector flicks on. Aarons on the edge of the penalty area. Left-footed shot from him was always rising over the top.
Yeah, it was. I think Hector won the first ball. Dropped Aarons 23 yards out on his left foot. Always falling away. He was off balance. Worth a strike, but goes over the bar quite easily. Not even Henderson was even worried about it. Obviously, we've drifted now into the latter stages. We all expected there to be goals tonight. Can we get one?
Well, we have 45 seconds.
No, then.
Here is McGoldrick, wide to the far side, and Freeman. McGoldrick again will chase, but Bannon, who's had an excellent game defensively, just whacks the ball off McGoldrick out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Sheffield Wednesday. Long down the line from Lees, looking for Nuiu, but it's quickly returned. McGoldrick will chase, and Hector hooks it out of play, and this could be the final chance of the game, and it's a throw-in for Sheffield Wednesday, for Sheffield United rather, about 20 yards from the corner flag on the far side. Thrown in towards Basham and laid off towards Freeman, and that's the full-time whistle, and it's the third successive goalless draw between Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United, and it means that Sheffield United miss out on the opportunity to head back into the top two, and Norwich City are now 4 points clear of third place, and Wednesday's playoff challenge may just have faded here this evening. Neither side really deserved to win the game. One clear-cut chance apiece. Both shots were straight at the goalkeepers, and really it's been a case of both teams maybe being afraid to lose. Full time, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Sheffield United 0.